Hey Netty World, Netty Pastor here. Come close, I want to share with you something close and personal. I was reading the Bible in the book of Daniel chapter 5 and 22. And Daniel says something to a king in Babylon called Belshazzar. He tells him in Daniel 5:22, "But you, Belshazzar, his son, have not humbled yourself, though you knew all this." What is this that Belshazzar knew? Belshazzar knew that the king of heaven, the God of heaven, had humbled his grandfather by the name Nebuchadnezzar. Nebuchadnezzar had a dream that he could not interpret. Wise men failed. Daniel, who served the Most High God, interpreted the dream. So Nebuchadnezzar knew the King of Kings. Nebuchadnezzar built an image in the plain of Dura. He commanded everyone to worship it. 3 Hebrew boys did not, and God saved them from the fire. He knew that knowledge. In Daniel chapter 4, Nebuchadnezzar's pride was lifted, his heart was lifted, and he boasted and said, "Is this not the great Babylon that I have made?" And God made Nebuchadnezzar into a beast, and he ate grass for 7 years together with the donkeys, and Nebuchadnezzar was humbled. This knowledge Belshazzar, his grandson, had. But when he came into power, he acted like he did not know the Most High God. He acted like he did not know the dealings of God with his grandfather Nebuchadnezzar. What I learned from this passage is that knowledge is impactful. Knowledge is impactful. What are you doing with the knowledge that you have right now? What are you doing with the biblical truths that you have discovered? Are you walking in them? Okay, leave alone biblical truth. You have heard stories from other people. You have heard how someone lost his money to gambling and betting. How has that information impacted you? Or do you want to have a story of your own? You have probably had the experience of very young ladies being single mothers. How has that information impacted you? Or do you also want to test this thing? Is it a positive thing for you? Probably you have heard how someone lost all of his money, he lost his job to alcohol and to drunkenness. How has this information impacted you? Or do you also want to become like him or even worse? Do you want to learn from your own experience? Can't you learn from the experience of other people? You have heard how someone contracted a very dangerous lifestyle disease. How has that knowledge impacted you? Or you still don't care what you eat, what you drink, and how you take care of your body, the hours in which you rest? You have had several things in the normal world. How has that knowledge impacted you? Maybe you are a school-going child. Soon you'll close schools and you'll be seeing what Netty Pastor had been saying. Maybe you have heard how so-and-so joked with school matters, and today his or her life is not looking good. How has that knowledge impacted you? Knowledge should lead you to action. When you know something, it should lead you to do an action. How has it impacted you? What have you been discovering from the Bible, and how has it impacted you? You, Belshazzar, you knew all of this, and yet you did not humble yourself. Netty World, you know that Jesus Christ died on the cross to save you from sin. How has that knowledge impacted you? Jesus Christ died to save you from sin. He didn't die to save you to sin. He died to save you from sin. How has that knowledge impacted you? Do you still sin and say, "Oh, I'm under grace, that is why I can sin. Grace is giving me the liberty to sin"? You see, a Christian's lifestyle, a Christian's actions, it must show that you are a Christian. The fact that you came to Christ, it must display in your actions. A Christian must live right. And so today I just came to tell you that Belshazzar knew some things. He did not humble himself, and it ended badly for him. I know you know a couple of things. I just have one question for you. How has that knowledge impacted you? God bless.